everyone. Welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Tom Springer, and I am the host and owner of Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. Thanks for showing up. If you're showing up here, that means it is Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 3 out in Hawaii, 6 a.m., I believe, Ajang, since you just popped in. Out in Indonesia, and you're about anywhere from 9 a.m. to noon tomorrow out in Australia. So welcome, everybody. You know how the show works. If you don't, let me give you a quick rundown. We have a special guest on tonight. My original guest could not make it because she was stuck in transit trying to fly to back home, and she was stuck in Chicago, and she's actually from Canada. So I was able to wrangle Miss Jamie Whitaker, who the audience knows because she has been a huge participant on the show, and she's also been on the show. So she has been nice enough to step in to help me. But we're going to go ahead and bring her on and say hi to her and let her see how everyone is saying hi. So, hi, Jamie.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Hello, Mr. Jang. How are you?
Hey, sister.
Hello, Miss Melody.
Hey, Melody.
Hi, Lovey.
Hey.
Joe's out here today.
Hello.
Miss Jolene is out here.
Oh.
Mary's popping up out here too.
Oh,
so yeah.
Hello, Mary.
And special guest Jamie. That's what she said. Sandy saying hi to us as well. Hello. Hi, Sandy.
Hey.
So like I said, my guest.
My crew.
I know, right? So my guest, unfortunately.
Where are your people?
Well, Zhang's my people, so.
Yes, she is. She's my people too.
My people first. Amber's popping in, so hi, Amber.
Hey.
But like I said, unfortunately, Amanda was unable to make it. She apologizes profusely for that, but I told her she's not going to get away from us that easily.
No, that is not going to work.
That was a little loud.
That's my bad.
But I will find another night to bring her on, so that'll work out fine. But anyways, I want to say hi to Jamie and thank you for filling in on such short notice.
You're welcome.
Luckily, she was gonna come listen to the show anyway, so why not?
Yeah, I already had this.
Right?
I had it.
We're already planning on the focus as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that tonight, because you're normally an audience member, you've been on my show once. We've talked about random stuff, kind of like how we always do because of our squirrel we have. But with you coming on, I kind of want to focus on you and let the audience know what it is you do, because you're in touch with a lot of different things. You participate in a lot of different events that you have your hands in. And first off, I'm going to throw this up there really quick. I'll get right back to that question here in a second. Hold on a second. But here's Jamie's link, and I'm going to copy and paste this into our audience comments. So that way, if you want to go find her Red Ribbon Spirit work, this is where you can find it all. You can see what she does. You can set up stuff with her, all that wonderful stuff. So go out there and take a look, like, follow, share her as well, and get to know her. And you're going to get to know her tonight, but then continue to get to know her more on your own after the show and start following her. So let me grab this really quick, and so I can throw that out there for everybody.
Now, Stuart said that he's out.
Yes.
Out of pocket.
He told me that, and he's like, "Oh man," he goes, "That's terrible. I really wanted to be there to talk when Jamie was there." And I said, "Well, that was plan something on a Monday night when my show's on." So I tried warning him, but no priorities. So
what's even worse is he's meeting up with somebody from my town. It's like, what?
Right?
What?
There's Nicole saying hi.
Oh, I hate that she's not here.
She's getting here. So she'll pop in. She had a meeting earlier. So hi, Jeanette. How are you?
Hello.
And then Amber asked me, question for Tom: have you ever tried channeling aliens?
Is this for Tom or for me?
Well, it says question, Tom. So I think it's for either one of us, really.
I channel light code.
You channel light code. I have attempted to channel. And I say attempted to channel because I have not successfully done it yet. Um, and I reach out to ask those who are part of my Starseed family that are out there to come talk to me and come greet me and to come let me know more because I'm curious and I want to know more. So I try to channel that way to them, but I've never had any kind of responses yet. So I don't know if I'm just channeling wrong. I'm not really. I am not really someone who channels. Stuff just pops into my head and we talk. But I never actively channel. I don't even know if I could tell you the full definition of what channeling is correct. So you could do that.
Yes, I'm a channel medium.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and answer that one from Amber?
Well, like I when I channel, it varies, and I believe that I'm channeling Lyran and I would say Pleiadian. I'm not sure. I think Arcturian steps in sometimes too, and those are three of my starseed placements. And it just comes through. The thing about them though, when they come through for me, it's really fast. It's just all this information and I try to jot it down because I do automatic writing too. And so I start trying to jot it down, but some of it is it's more knowing than words. And when hey Malia, that's Malia.
Oh, is it?
Malia.
Well, that's not what it says.
I know. So when I chant, it comes through in like a knowing, because a lot of them that I communicate with, they don't communicate through words. It's telepathic.
Right.
And I get some of the light codes. What light code comes through for me is sounds and music and hand movements.
Okay.
And I can't really I can't duplicate it. It just has to I have to let it come through.
Right.
And I started, I want to say Lyran. They come through a lot when I'm doing healing, like Reiki, and I'll have people's starseed family come in when I'm doing Reiki too. So sometimes what I'm channeling, I'm not really familiar with.
So is Lyran more of is that more the feline?
Mm-hmm. The feline and the avian.
Okay. I the reason I ask is because I don't know if it's channeling or what, but there is a lot. It's got to be Lyran that comes through and just wants to talk to me.
Well, they're lions.
Yeah, and we know mine. So I mean, so that's what I was wondering, because there's a lot of time, especially through dreams or when I astral travel, it always seems I'm running into them.
And I don't know what they look like when they come to me. They don't come to me like I don't really have a visual of them. I have a visual more of the information that I'm being given.
Right.
Now, when I've done Reiki, especially in person, sometimes they'll come to me and I'll see them.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't have mouths. It's really weird.
No,
because
that's the word. That is the weird thing. They don't.
Do yours not have mouths either?
Mine do not. What's up, Max? How you doing? Yeah, mine really don't. And it's really weird but when they come through to me, they are, there's one that comes through to me, especially when I'm dreaming, or I want to say dreaming, but it also comes through a lot when I astral travel. And it is I want to think he's one of the leaders, because he is a full-maned white lion, huge. And that's, if people, some people know, I don't mind telling you, even if say some people they don't, you shouldn't tell them. But one of my spirit animals is a blue-eyed white lion, and he's nice. He's huge. So I don't know if this is one of them coming through talking to me.
It could be, because some of your spirit animals could be.
Yeah,
it could be anything.
Notice says they don't talk with their mouths, but I understand.
Right,
yeah,
right.
They don't.
That's
when
exactly.
When he talks to me, it is telepathetically, but it was they come. they come in so much more frequently now than they ever have before. And it's almost like I'm supposed to be getting some kind of a message from this. I just don't know what it is, because it's been very very frequent, like the past week or two. And it's just
things are shifting.
Yeah, I know, and that is for people who don't know, lion is one of my absolute favorite animals of all time, and I think it's because that's where I kind of see myself between that and a rhino. So
it's and that I have a lot of the avian stuff come through. So, but I'm pretty well connected with felines too. But my spirit animal is a hawk. I mean, and I have the dragons come through, and I have some of the phoenix energy come through.
Yeah.
A lot of fire.
Mine's a lot of eagle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of eagle.
So I really feel like I was probably both.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we spent multiple lifetimes. It wasn't just one lifetime. Vega is where I was at. So I mean, it's possible that we were both blue avian and the lions or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I want to say maybe it may be Orion that has the white lions too. Their lions are more than just Lyran.
Yeah, and their features are they're not purely what we see here, lion. They are the full lion mane. They are the monster size and everything else, but their features are more sharp. They're more cut. It's almost like when you see anyone on TV who is in makeup and they're trying to accentuate their cheekbones or their jawlines. That's really what they look like. They're cut in like that, but they're not doing it with makeup. That's just how their features are. So it's really cool, but they're not like ultra narrow. They're still big, but that's just how they're cut. It's kind of cool, but yeah, they have no mouth, so you don't see that at all.
I don't see it on the not like Arcturians or Pleiadians or.
See, I didn't see it on Pleiadians. Arcturians I have. But I don't know if that's because how I'm supposed to connect with Arcturians. I have been told that I am one of the personal guards for someone who is of like royalty type thing. So that could be why I communicate differently with them directly. But yeah. So Melody says that she saw a lion block something recently. She says it was cool.
Block it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spirit world?
I don't know. So Melody,
I'm almost positive she's feline Lyran.
Yeah.
I mean,
she said like
makes too much sense.
Like Tugger from Cats. So we do have Amber did post up here earlier. Amber, I didn't forget. I was coming back to him. She said she posted a YouTube short yesterday. There's a video of the Fae here from her security camera. So we may want to go take a look at that.
Yeah.
Go and take a look at that one. And Jeanette had a question for us. Jeanette,
I've worked with the Fae too.
Oh yeah. And Jeanette is asking, this is a question for both of you. Did you have your gifts since little children? I'll let you go first.
I have always seen dead people. And I saw a lot of dark energies way back. But they couldn't come near. I noticed way back that they couldn't get anywhere, really get close to me. But yeah, I've always seen and always had that intuition and all of that. So it's amped up lately in the last probably 3 or 4 years. I love the Fae. I do too.
Yeah. Jeanette, to answer your question, no. I have not always been. I'm really like 1 year, 2 months into my awakening. It's very new to me still. I'm still I'm still a baby in this world. Um, but it's a very odd. Mine is very odd. I'm very much a baby as far as how long I've had it, but the abilities that were given to me were huge. They came on with an extreme amount of strength and depth. So it's basically they say, here's everything that we want to give you, but we're going to give it to you as if you can already teach a master class on it. Now go figure out what we mean. And I went, oh crap. Well, thanks. And the way I explain it to people is that it's like I was learning how to drink from a fire hose. So, it's basically what it is. So
you've done this before.
Yeah,
we've done this before.
Yeah.
And it's funny. A lot of the people that are coming into our field have done this before with us.
Yeah, it's strange. So Amber's saying I seen a unicorn a couple days ago and a few more dragons.
I've never seen a unicorn.
I think I've lost my marbles. So I don't Amber, I'm gonna make fun of you a little bit. I do believe you have lost your marbles, just not for this reason. So just like the rest of us. So
you're a little crazy.
You're in good company here. I have not seen a unicorn, but I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone mentioned that to me probably a week or two ago.
A unicorn. There was something I'm trying to remember came up about a unicorn. I want to say yesterday, but I can't. Yeah, I can't think of what it is.
It was very strange because I was like, wow, I've never heard of anyone having the unicorn experience. But that's twice now in like the past couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. The dragons, I have I don't know why. I really think it's because of my north side, but I have a very strong connection to dragons, even if I don't profess it as much as I do like my lions and my eagles. I really, dragons are a huge connection to me. To me, it's kind of an odd thing, but dragons to me are kind of like my angels. And the reason I say that is because when you look at the dragon colors in different mythologies, and you look at the Asian community with their dragons, and you look at the Christian culture with their angels, the colors that they represent all do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So for me, my dragons is pretty much my angels on my north side of the house.
So. North side. And money, hey. Well, I am the dragon, which is odd to me, because when I'm channeling or when I'm doing a journey, because I do shamanic journeys and shamanic healing, all that junk, and I'm usually watching it. I'm observing. Right. And when it's the way I observe, the way spirit comes to me, that generally means something different. But with the red dragon, I am the red dragon. I see it from the dragon's perspective. So I don't know what that means. But I'm the dragon.
But that's weird that that's your color, because my color is red and then my other one is blue. Those are my two dominant dragon colors.
Uriel and Archangel Michael.
Yeah. That could be a reason. Jeanette, yes, the answer is yes to this question. She says, I see snakes in my dreams and dragonflies sometimes outside. Mm-hmm. Can these be my spirit animal? Yes. If they're presenting themselves to you, recognize it, pay attention to it, because you'll probably seeing, well, hopefully not the snakes too much outside, but the dragonflies, you'll probably, I'm saying out in the, just like outside her door. But you'll see these, if you pay more attention, you'll realize that they're around a lot more than you're paying attention to. And they probably are your spirit animals. They're attached to you for a reason, for some form or other. So that is definitely a yes there.
And you could ask your higher self, before you go to bed, set the intention to find out the answer. Because I mean, if it's not your spirit animal, it's at least a message.
Right. Exactly. And that's I can tell you that butterflies are prevalent to me, but it's only very recently, because my oldest brother passed away from a cancer, And when he said he'd come back to visit me, he would always visit me as a butterfly because he actually raised butterflies. He had like a butterfly community that he took care of. So he always told me he would come back as a butterfly. So I've seen them. I've always paid attention to butterflies, but since he's passed, they will come and land on me. I can be in a full golf swing and they'll just come and land on my shoulder while I'm trying to swing a golf club. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? So that's not my spirit animal, but it is I believe it is my brother coming to say hi. Well, hang on there. But I'm going to go back up a little bit. So Amber was saying, when I say going up, that's for me saying I'm going back up in the messages. Amber saying so many new things. Unicorn was the first for her. Melody's saying that's interesting because unicorns came up a lot today in her feeds.
It's I wish I could remember where it was, but I know it just came up for me too.
Yeah, it's
like yesterday.
For me, they come up a lot. Like I said, I'm not the unicorn person that I'm seeing. Excuse me. But my niece is a unicorn lover, so I see them every day because every single time I find one, I love her so much I end up buying something for her. She ends up with all these different unicorns in her damn room. So her mom loves me. So
my daughter like used to, but she liked the creepy looking unicorns. You know, the ones that bite you with the they have teeth.
Yeah. Amber says the dragon that hangs out with her a lot said he is her guardian for protection. He shows up when she gets herself in a bind with a dogman or something else crazy. So yeah, so that's just more of your protector. So yeah, definitely.
I posted the other day about I was like I'm calling in my dragons because it's cold and I'm sick of it.
Right, I remember that post.
Look, it was 79 degrees today. So
well, you must have stepped in our direction because I think we were about 60. So now for the next couple of days, we're going to be into the 20s and 30s with rain and snow again. So your dragon got tired.
No snow.
Yeah. Zhang does have a question. She says, I want to ask you both. When there is unknown spirits and suddenly we connect with it, do you think they are searching or is it just their frequency connected with our energy?
What do you mean connecting? Like are they coming through or just?
Are they trying to talk to you? Are they just there now and they're hanging? Because I know you have that one that hangs out in your house now. A couple of girls that hang out. Well, to me, it's a boy and a girl that hang out in your house. And I see them. But is that the two you're talking about that are at your house? Because they just kind of showed up recently. And I can tell you why they're there. This answer is easy for me. I can see it right now. I'm hearing everything that's going on in your house. So I know why those two are there. If those are the two you're talking about. So let me know if those are the two you're talking about. Otherwise, please explain it so we can talk about it further.
Yeah, because usually when they come to me, I know why.
Yeah.
They'll tell, it'll be a crossover or usually it's crossover when they come to me.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh yeah, I have ladybugs. And it's so funny because I don't see the live ladybugs right now, but I'm already seeing ladybugs all over the place.
Nikki is here. She's posting messages now. She says on a podcast that she heard, you have one mammal, one bird, and one insect as a spirit animal. What are your thoughts on that?
Nope.
So
there are no rules.
Yeah,
you get what you get.
Yeah, whatever.
And they can change.
So yes,
they can change.
They can change, just like your.
Well, and I will say there are some cultures that believe that, and that could be the rule for that culture.
Right.
But
or how that person was taught.
Right. Yes. Right. So, but mine is mostly like, I get all kinds of different ones come in, but I have my main one and that one goes everywhere. My hawk goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But I still, and there's no rules. It's like have a water pool or whatever in your middle world so that if you have a water like type of spirit animal come in. No, because I've had dolphins come flying through for somebody else. Like right. Seriously, why would there be rules?
Yeah, true.
It's the dream world. We make our rules. So,
I'm so glad you cleared that one up, Melody, because she's like, unicorns make you think of Tim Curry. And I'm like, what? And then she said legend. So, okay. Thank you.
Oh,
I was like, why do they make you think of, but okay, thanks.
that makes sense.
Amber's saying, I went out of state a week and a half ago for a big investigation. Should have seen me trying to explain that there was a vampire, a puckwudgie on this property. She got some weird looks. Well,
I don't know what is a puckwudgie.
A puckwudgie?
Yeah.
I'll have her explain that. I've seen the word and I've heard the descriptions, but I don't know how true they are for that.
Vampires are coming up a lot lately too.
And then Nikki is also saying she asked her angels, spirit guides, etc., to show her bird spirit animal, and she sees eagles all the time. Then she asked what mammal she was, and had 2 dreams and saw bears a lot in about 2. Yeah, it was. We would watch a TV show. There was a bear. We'd watch a commercial. There was a bear. There was blah, blah, blah. There were bears in all of them. So I was like, yep, maybe.
I don't know because I don't think I have a permanent like a mammal. I do have like wasp, cicada killer, which is also a cicada hawk. So it's still hawk.
Still a hawk, yeah. Amber's also saying that never considered using them for heat, Jamie. Gonna start doing that too for the dragons.
Yep.
I can stop praying when it gets too much. Took a while, but I got it down pat now. And Jamie says, Zhang says they come to her. So is that the 2 that come to you, or is it someone else that come to you, Zhang? I'm trying to figure out because you're talking about why do they come? Why do these come? Is it more than just 1 or 2? Is it just now all of a sudden spirit that you don't know is coming to you? Yeah. And if it's just spirit coming to you that you're not familiar with, and they just seem to show up, and it's not because of your music anymore, they're just showing up. It's because you're opening up more. And they're recognizing that, and they're I don't want to say taking advantage of it, but they're recognizing that now you are able to sense them, hear them, talk to them, and possibly help them. So when they have that opportunity, they're going to come in. Even if you don't have an attachment to them in any way, shape, or form, or a connection to them, that's just going to happen. That's just what happens when you start channeling people, or they recognize that you have ability.
Well, you vibrate at a different, you look different. You vibrate different, and, you're a different frequency. So they recognize it. So, but if it's bothering you, you can ask your guide to help with that. Or if you need clear answers and you can ask for help from one of your guides to make it clear, because, there's a reason.
Right.
And if it's unclear, ask for some help. Or I said they make it clear to me because I hear them. But for people who can't hear, you can start setting up different ways to get messages, like the ladybugs and the dragonflies or pennies, or you can choose and say, okay, this is how I'm going to communicate. Check yes, check no, whatever. Yeah. This is for yes, this is for no, this is for,
And sometimes passing by. I had one guy, it was just the strangest thing. I'm in the middle of doing something, and all of a sudden this guy just walks by, and he just walks by in the middle of what I'm doing, and he looks over me and goes, hey, I just kept on walking. And I was like, hey, and it was a spirit who was just passing through, and I was like, hi. Okay, let's continue what we're doing.
I've had them do that before.
People thought I was nuts. They're like, what did you wave at? I'm like, spirit just went through. They're like,
I've had them. I've had a lot lately that are they don't seem to be aware of your existence at all.
Yeah.
Like I see them and they look a darker shade, not like a shadow person, but and they don't seem to be, like I said, it's just I catch a glimpse, and what's weird is there's not even an energy signature. I'm an energy reader.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no signature or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're folding timelines, and so we're sometimes catching a glimpse into that, or I don't know. something like that.
Interesting conversation to ask you guys. Okay, so I'll be asking that later. Let me go through some of these messages because I'm kind of behind. Yeah, Monty's saying ladybugs everywhere. Amber's agreeing with you, saying, yep, we can have whatever, whoever, and however many. Primal Cry is saying, my son has ET guide, so anything is possible.
Well, and I was going to say, you could even have a dinosaur because they did exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and actually you can have stuff that didn't exist. Like there's still an energy there, if that makes sense. There's still an energy to guide you.
Right.
Everything is energy. And even if I just thought something up right now and put the energy into it, it's there. So
yeah. So she says, so they vibrate connected with our vibrations. Their vibrations, our vibrations, kind of. They sense it, or they just see that yours is different now. So they start reacting different. It's like, oh, that's a different energy, and I know what that one's doing. I know what that vibration's doing. And Amber said that she had some that looked like a bunch of little mini cousin its, and there were a bunch of like cryptids. Melody's chiming in saying, Mr. Joe, how surprised he isn't chiming in about that word.
Yeah, sure,
that one. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I get a lot of the owls, especially the owls and the mo'o for people. When I'm working, like when I'm doing Reiki or something like that, their guides come through and there's big owls and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah. Mo's asking, and for those people who don't know Mo's my neighbor across the street. Mo's asking, how do you know what your animal or animals are? And it's there's different ways.
Yeah, different ways. Like the cicada killer is only here for a certain amount of time every year, and I just love them. I know they're creepy big hornet looking things, but they don't sting you. I mean, I'm sure if you grabbed it, it might.
They look scary. No, they don't.
They look scary, but unless you're a cicada, they don't care. And I see them everywhere. They literally follow me.
Yeah.
And I remember I was getting into my Highlander and I was like, man, this is getting so extra. It's more like I wonder if they're like a spirit guide or a power animal or something, because it's more like a power animal than it is just a sign. And I get into the Highlander and I look down and one of those things was on my leg. I about freaked out because I was like, okay. I got out and I stopped
message
flew off. So there's my message. So careful.
Careful
when you ask.
And that's what Nikki's saying too. You can ask your guides; they'll show you, and you'll start seeing.
Well, it's like she had them showing up on TV and stuff like that. Now I see them all over the place. The other day I had something going on, and I forget what the question was, but I was cleaning and I found a cicada wasp, and I mean, it was dead. Yeah. Unfortunately, it makes me sad, but it's not the season for them. And I'm like, hello. Yeah, it's not cicada season, but there you are. They'll come through. They figure out how.
So she's saying she's found a cicada, which is uncommon where she's at. She said, where do I know you from? In an off-planet way. Like, why do we know each other type thing. But yeah. So
I'm not sure. I forget. I think cicadas mean change, but it's like when you look now, the owl is a good one because things come in symbols. Like if the owl is not your power animal and it comes to you, for some cultures it's a sign of, it's telling you someone's going to pass or whatever.
Right.
But not all cultures.
Right.
A lot have the owls like during the day. Like Hawaii has owls all day long. They actually come out during the day.
Right.
Which would be completely freaky to a native and indigenous person, because that's like a sign. But they're there just doing it all day long. That's what they do. So you can look some of this stuff up if you see them, and then you kind of have to go with what resonates with you.
Yeah.
Like, I tend to lean towards the Scottish, Irish, Gaelic stuff.
Right.
Because that's my ancestry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I've always heard that the owls from 3 different cultures that it either means death, um, it means it's bringing you a message, or it means there's a change about to happen. But I've also heard in other cultures depends on what color the owl is as well. So so there's so many different intricacies to what you're looking into that you can't say just one blanket statement and be covered.
Well, they're guardians in
right.
Hawaiian culture. So
Yeah. So and
that's why it's really cool when they come through.
And hey,
hello.
Matt, and he says everything is energy and it's all one. Correct. It's going to come to you what you would best recognize and relate it on a personal level. Absolutely.
100%.
And that's kind of how it rolls. I mean, they're doing their best to help you recognize what they're there for, or
because
they're entering your life.
Yeah, they're not going to come in and talk to you in a way that you wouldn't understand.
Right.
I mean,
you just got to figure it out. You just got to figure out what it is.
What will you understand?
And Nikki's saying, "Oh, so hi, welcome back, Melody." She said, "Be right back," and now she says "back," so I'm just recognizing that. Nikki says, "I'm trying to figure out my dreams about the bears because the 2 I have were about me shutting in the bear within a room." So she actually closed it like into a room. So I don't know why she's trapping a bear. So I don't know. That's got to be hers to figure out. So Joe, stop using words I don't understand. Is that
Pueo?
Pueo isn't considered spirit animals more so than family reincarnated to protect. They seem to be limited to certain forms. Okay, so what's Pueo?
Owl.
Owl. Okay.
Owl.
I'm like, well, great.
That's the owl. Come on now, don't you know this by now?
No, I don't. So Joe has not been sending me his.
I don't know why you put the mo up there.
He hasn't been telling me the telekinesis that I'm supposed to have when he's actually feeding energy to me to let me know what the hell he's saying in Englishing. Yes. And,
oh, come on. You said Mary's name really well.
I butchered that one to hell.
No, you did.
Well, that's because you guys told me I have to pronounce every single vowel. So when I did that, that's okay. But Amber's saying, yeah, different things means something different to everybody. So you kind of got to pay attention to what it represents.
What resonates.
Yeah. Why you think it's there, what's going on with you. And some messages.
Yeah, because Amani's idea of the dragonflies are different from mine. I'm like, that's my buddies. They're from they're fae. They're bringing me a message.
Right. And what does Amani think? Death and destruction everywhere.
No. No. Certain ways they show up, it's deceit and stuff, and sometimes it is. Yeah. Sometimes it is. That's the message that they're bringing you.
Yeah.
But for me, they're my little fairy friends.
It's like they're one step below a praying mantis. So
I like praying mantis too. So
me too.
And I wasn't very happy when it jumped on me. Kind of freaked me out. I had one jump on me. It's like, hello, no, thank you.
And Joe is saying it makes sense if you don't listen to a guardian, bad luck will befall you. People see owls as a bad omen. See, why can't you type owls in the last one? I would have understood that. People see owls as a bad omen because the warning isn't heeded. Yes, and I've heard that as well. They show up for a reason as a warning or something along those lines to kind of let you know something's kind of coming towards you. Pay attention or whatever else. And yeah, Jared, you're right. I'm terrible about this.
Hey.
I really need to start writing what I see and dream. It's scary. So that's a new name.
It's not. Yes, that's my friend.
Oh yeah, I figured.
I have known Jared from high school. I mean, middle school. Oh God.
I didn't know this person, so I figured they were probably in.
Yeah, that's my people.
And thank you, Melody, for explaining, because Joe's terrible.
Yeah. It's like he knows you don't know.
Oh, you like hearing me pronounce it all wrong? Thanks.
Ion.
Amber is saying, have either of you picked up anything spiritually about the massive chemical spill in Ohio?
Is not on my radar at all.
Yeah. Nope. I really haven't picked up anything that because I haven't focused on it.
I didn't know there was one. So
yeah, if I focused on it, I might, but I don't. I I have so many other squirrel moments going on at work right now, and because I look at stuff worldwide, so I am really picking up a lot. Oh my
There's a
goodness,
lot going
I
on
am
right now.
very overwhelmed right now by the Turkey Syria
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to tell them, you're not done looking because you're not done finding people that are alive. So stop giving up hope. And that's just a big one for me right now. So that's something that, and that just shows up. Bam! It just
Mm-hmm.
hits me, and then all of a sudden it's gone like 2 minutes later. But and this is kind of how the energy passes through me. It's almost like I'm getting a pickup, almost like my antenna has gone out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's saying, pay attention to everything going on in the world and tell me what you think. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now, which is very odd because this is very new to me. This is another new development, by the way, folks.
Yeah, welcome to this one.
Oh my
This
goodness.
one kicked my butt. This one kicked my butt when COVID hit. Oh my God. I was falling in the corner like I can't.
Yeah, but this one,
I can't do it.
This one was, and for me, I have friends in Turkey, so it hits home.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been able to reach out and hear anything from them about them or anything else. So it's always on my mind, but I'm feeling all the energy that's coming from there, even though I'm halfway around the world.
Oh yeah. Well, time and space does not matter.
Oh, it does not at all.
It doesn't matter at all. And
yes,
I feel like that's this whole shift. Okay, because we have the pole shifts, and it is a thing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Happens every 80 years?
Approximately, yeah.
But this time we have the solar pole shift, and we also have the Earth's pole shift. So it's happening at the same time, and then we have the solar flares coming from that shift. We have solar storms with the solar flares activating all our little sparkly bits, which is great because some of us it affects a little bit more than others.
Well, here's the other part about. So let me tell you something about the sun that a lot of people don't know about. God, this is such the nerd in me. Oh my goodness. We have we have the solar flares. We have the solar branches. Right now, we literally have parts of the sun that are breaking off and flaring, but they're flaring so hot that they're flaring. What did they say? 210,000 times hotter than a normal solar flare. So when they break off and they flare, it is their last dying breath of that piece. So it goes out really literally with a bang than it does anything else. And that's affecting us.
It's activating some of the little sparkly bits within our DNA.
But this is the first time they've seen the break off this common. So I'm like, oh, great. So
that's because it's all happening at one time.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
Like
it just needs to stop.
And it's triggering. It's not gonna because
I know.
I mean, that's what's triggering some of this natural stuff. Because I mean, all the it doesn't matter who's in charge. Guess who's in charge? It's not us.
Right.
And this is shaking us up a little bit. It's going to shake us up quite a bit.
That makes sense to me now, Joe. When he did this one, when he says, "I just enjoy hearing your pronouncing ion," it was pronunciation. So his word broke up. All right, God damn it, Melody. Foya was one of your another word. Yes, thank you.
Amakua.
I hate you all. See, now you're starting to find out why I really hate people, because y'all do stuff like this to me on a Monday night.
To watch you struggle.
Right, and the struggle is real. Primal saying that a little white owl asked her to care for her son before it was conceived. I knew he would be from me, but not of me, if that makes sense. Yes, that totally makes sense.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. See, when owl comes to me, owl is not a bad omen.
It's not to me either. And then
Melody. But owl is with Athena too, and I channel a lot of Athena. Okay. Oh, so you have because Melody, Melody has Mo'o too, which is lizards.
I'm like Mo'o. I can
lizards. And
she said gecko, but yeah.
Yeah, geckos and mermaids ish. Oh, bye. Good luck. Yay.
You can just watch the recording at the end.
Yeah, she's got really cool stuff going on. We all have such cool stuff. This is going to be a good year, though.
Yeah, and then Amani's saying their messengers, it just depends depends, and sometimes it's
Mhm.
deceit or living life with more joy.
Well, not for me most of the time. They're just my friends.
Is that the dragonfly?
Yeah, and moths, and not usually butterflies spirit.
Yeah.
Butterflies usually spirit coming through, but the moths and stuff, I mean, I don't know, just they come. That's and um hummingbirds.
Oh yeah.
They're messengers of the between too. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
they're not uh loved ones or anything like that. For me, they're messengers.
Yeah.
So
And yes, Joe, you are correct. I can now pronounce a lot of these now that I've seen them and heard them once. I won't be able to pronounce them. Amber is saying it looks like Chernobyl there right now. That's the oil spill that happened over in Ohio. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of highly toxic chemicals leaked in the air and waters. I do know about this. I just haven't tapped into it.
mhm.
I've been keeping a little bit of track of it, but yeah, she said livestock and fish are dying by the dozens. Absolutely. And that's
Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
I
I
don't.
haven't picked up on that one. Just, I mean, I know about it. I just haven't focused on it. So,
Well, there's a lot, and it's
oh,
a lot that's.
hi, Debbie.
Hey, sister, see
No,
my
you thought it was, huh?
people.
I thought it was Amanda going to be on tonight, and I switched it all up on y'all. Jenny says she once met a cat, and it looked at her sarcastically, and I felt something that wasn't for it as an animal, because I don't have the ability to channel into animal. Doesn't make sense if it's reincarnate. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Well, and sometimes cats are fae.
Well, there you go.
Sometimes they're the fae.
Sometimes.
Cat Sith, cat side.
Yeah. Solar flare. Yes, solar flare.
So are. Mhm. Yes.
Exactly.
Activating our sparkly bits in our DNA and that junk DNA.
Debbie
Hmm.
says she has a spirit owl. Mo'o is also a dragon.
I didn't know there were dragons.
According to Joe, Mo'o is also a dragon, and I pronounced it right. So, and she says her other bird guard is the Shama. Shama.
I don't know that one.
Okay. All right. I see how you are.
She's going to educate us.
Right.
I don't know that one. And if it's a Hawaiian word, it'll all just be the same sound.
And Amber's saying the water flows here it flows from Ohio into West Virginia, so you have to stock up on water because it's going to start affecting your water supply. So, Zhang says she's afraid of the gecko. It's always there when she opens her door. Makes the sounds.
Like lizards like to talk to me too, and I say lizard because we have geckos here too. But like,
Oh, okay.
I had, I forget what the message was coming through, and it was a little bit warmer. So I was like, well, it might not be. Maybe it was just a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
And then I go to open this door, and this big Anole lizard, the color changing, jumps right on me and then right down my pants. I was like, okay, I get it. But it was cool because I love them. I love them. So
yeah. Amber is telling us that she's convinced one of her cats, Murder Paws, is an ET. So
it could be.
If you named it Murder Paws, there must be a reason for it. So yeah.
Could be.
And yes, Melody, thank you for that. So she thinks it's a thrush in English. So yes, which is a
cool
type of bird. So yeah.
Little bird.
Yes.
Little bird. They're little bird.
Thrushes are. Thrushes are. And this has taken us so far off conversation what I was going to talk about.
Oh yeah. What were we talking about? Well, we didn't have a
You.
Me. Okay, well,
I said tonight was going to be
about me.
You do. But I'm fine with these side conversations, so don't stop them, people. I'm perfectly fine with that. But
yeah, that's how we learn. I like that because we were talking about earlier. I am going to start setting up some more like some classes and stuff like that because I want to start working on the shamanic stuff. And I just want to start teaching some classes. I haven't figured out how to do the platform yet. But like where we, learn how to communicate with your guides and guardians, or learn how to do shamanic journeys, or how to do healing in the shamanic world, because a lot of that stuff you'll find ties in together. Like I was doing the shamanic healing and the angelic healing long before I was doing Reiki. And so, when I got attuned to Reiki and all of that, it just all, kind of blended together. So I'm going to start teaching some of that stuff.
Yeah.
On my
So I don't know
page.
why, because you know that I really believe that I should be a shaman at some point. I think
Probably
that's
were.
one of my destinations, or that I believe one of my goals now is to become a shaman.
Well, just so happen to know a person that could help you with that.
Just may know if I ever get my lazy butt going in the right direction. But for some reason, I believe that my shamanic journey will tie into water somehow. I don't know.
A water shaman.
But I really feel like that's those two are supposed to tie together for me.
I mean, there are water shamans, so.
Oh, well, maybe that's why. But the other side of that is I also know that I just feel it, but this is going to be a very odd combination, because I feel that I'm supposed to be a shaman for my indigenous person side that ties to water somehow, but I'm also supposed to be almost like a seer on my Norse side.
The same.
I know, but it's to me, I'm seeing them as two different roads, though.
They're not.
Not?
I mean, they don't have to be.
Right, but
they don't have to be.
They don't have to be, but I'm seeing them that they're going to perform for me as two different roads. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what I've been Tom my whole life. Now I just want to enhance Tom, Joe. Amber's saying she almost studied shamanism a few years back.
Oh, you can join me. Because I want to start it simple. I told, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. I want to start it kind of, let me get my drums. Look, it's my drum.
That's a drum.
I want you guys to understand that you don't have to go out and be you don't have to invest in all this stuff. You can if you want to, but I mean, you don't have to go and invest in a whole bunch of stuff, and you can just start
Tom and so yes, Tom 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
But what was funny is when you showed that to me earlier, it sounds just like it. So you can play it just like it's a drum.
We can be a junk band.
So yeah, exactly.
And I mean, rattles and stuff like that. I actually finally ordered me an egg rattle.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so cheap.
Yeah.
It's like $4 on Amazon. So there's I want to bring that stuff in and teach people about it, and kind of, because you go on your own path. Like I wanted to connect with and honor spirit of the land here. And these are Navaculite. So we have Navaculite here, and I started spirit just started telling me what we could do to do that. And everybody's land is going to be different. So even if you connect with your Norse ancestors, the spirit of the land, even if you're not working with the spirit of the land, you can still honor the spirit of the land. And,
yeah.
So, and I don't always work with the same people.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will tell you that we were on an investigation. Nikki will remember this one. We were on an investigation, and someone mentioned something on the team. They must have been reading something about the area, and it had to do with how the indigenous people were treated there. Mm-hmm. And I had to leave the building. I walked out, and I was very moved. I became very emotional. I was crying because of it, because it just overwhelmed me so much that I actually had to go into the basement to where there was dirt and everything else, and I had to perform a ceremony to kind of help let them understand
honor them.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And it was very touching, and it was something that I've never experienced before. But it was just weird how much it overtook me right away. Mm-hmm. And there was absolutely nothing I can do about it. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I had to go in and do an honor ceremony, and it was very, very, for me, it was very something I needed to do, but it was odd that I knew what I was doing. because I've never had.
Not that odd.
Well, I know, but I mean, it was very.
Well,
You know,
we have ancestral. Our body actually responds first to the ancestral imprint on our DNA.
mhm,
So I mean, things that you didn't necessarily learn, you just know.
right,
And then it'll go from like lifetimes and stuff like that. But the first thing that comes up is ancestral, and being an empath, you'll know things anyway.
right,
They'll tell you, or you know, like I said, past lifetimes. It just kind of it starts kind
right,
of kicking in.
right, and that's really what it was. It was
Mhm.
something I was tapping into that allowed me to know what I was doing, and I was not disrespecting them or anything else. I was doing it correctly.
The
Uh,
difference for me in between channeling and knowing, as like a from my genetic or ancestral or
right,
whatever, is I still know it after.
right,
And if I'm channeling, then it's like, oh, what was that really cool stuff I just said?
right. And
I don't remember it.
I wasn't channeling. This has to be ancestral because I still remember it, and I still
Mhm.
remember what happened and everything else. And Nikki says this happened when I was very early in my ability. I mean, this was 2 months into my ability.
Mm. Mm.
It was a very different feeling. I didn't know how to react to it. It actually kind of made me. I don't want to say frightened, but it made me anxious.
Mhm.
I was like, "What is this? Why is this happening to me right now?" And like I said, it was only 2 months in, so I had no clue at all. And
Well, that's like this stuff that like the news and stuff. I don't watch any of that because
yeah,
um, to be able to not tap into that, I have to limit myself to what kind of information I'm
and
even
see,
taking in.
I purposely take it in, but I have a very good block on it. Like
Mhm.
I can decide what I'm going to let in because I have to know the news because of my job.
Mm. And see,
Um,
I don't. I let my
but
higher
I'm
self
very good
filter.
about filtering it out, what I need to, what I
Mm.
don't. And it's just, and that for me is automatic. I don't need to
Mhm.
focus on it and say this can't be here. It just happens. I know what comes in. I
Mhm.
know what I'm staying with. I know what's going to go out, and it's just very immediate. Amber is asking, what is the difference between actual studying shamanism and just working with the land on your own?
Um, I would say the biggest difference is working within the realms. If you do shamanic journeys in the realms, then you're doing shamanic work. Working
Okay.
with the land is, um, I don't even know what category that would be in. It's just a um, honor in the, that's just, uh,
Because
like if we have to label it?
for me that ties when you talk about working with the land. For me that works into my working with the elementals that I have that attachment,
Right, right,
and
right.
that's how I work that part. But for me, I think shamanism to me is going to have to be something I really have to focus on and practice and study. Because when you talk about visiting the realms, I have no clue what you're talking about. Um, so that's something I'm actually going to have to like go back to school and study, which I'm lazy. So again, have that
It's
conversation.
really, that's why I want to start off with simple journeys, because
Yeah.
once you can do one simple journey, um,
Well, I self-taught. I did not know I did that, but I self-taught my astral travel. I
see,
didn't
and
know
I still can't do
I
that on purpose
didn't know
consciously.
I didn't know I was doing a self-hypnosis to myself and astral travel. And when I explained it to someone, they're like, "Are you kidding me?" They said, "You taught yourself to go into self-hypnosis and astral travel?" I was like, "Yeah, isn't that how it works?" They're like, "No, that's like way up there stuff. Why do you know how to do that?" And I'm like, closed my eyes and did it one night, and they were like, "No, you're not supposed to be able to do it that easily." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Well, and with your astral travel, just astral travel into another realm.
Well,
That
my astral travel and my remote travel are two totally different things, or remote viewing are totally different things, and I can
hmm
set off which one I'm going to do before I go to bed.
hmm
So I'll know which one it is.
Well, so astral travel into a realm, and then ta-da,
Oh,
it's shamanism.
okay. There you go.
And your spirit animals and your guides and stuff will be there to greet you. And But now you are supposed to, when you go in, you go in a certain way and you leave the same way um, you came in. And mostly it's because that helps you retain the information and not crash
So when
when you
you say
come
you're
back.
supposed to go in, you mean like the into the realm? There's an like going through the same opening and out the same opening, or
Yes.
is it a state of consciousness? You're supposed to go in and out the state of consciousness the same way.
When I go into the realms, I usually start into like the middle realm, and I'll walk. You visualize yourself. Oh,
Bye, Amber.
bye, sweetie.
I'll talk to you
You
later.
visualize yourself like going. I do a trail. I walk down the trail and I walk into my field,
See, and I
and
already
it's
know what I would
literally a
visualize.
field.
I mean, when you talked about it, I already know what I would visualize going through. So
Hmm.
yeah, like
Well,
sitting
I
there, I
mean,
can see it in my head. So I know what my
and
entrance would be and my exit would be.
well,
So
when for me, I do the field because I just work in that's the middle realm. It's closest to our realm
okay,
is in appearance, and from there, I can either go down into the lower world and you'll find like a pool of water, or you go down the roots of a tree. There's always a tree in my middle world, um, or something a tunnel that takes you down to the lower world.
and I can tell you that I mean just the visualization I have in my head, like I can already see it. If I'm going to put myself in that state, my entry will be under like a creation of like limbs and everything from the trees that I can
Hmm.
walk through.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
So you'll just visualize yourself going down, and
right,
now you need to set your intention before you go in. You'll set an intention. What do you
I
want to
I
do?
have to do that anyways with like astral travel and everything else.
Hmm.
Every
See,
road I have to do that.
it's
So
the same. So you know what you're going in for.
okay,
And you go down into your, like, say, the lower world, and you go down through your tunnel, and when you get there, I always have my guide is always with me. It's always my hawk, but I'll have other animals come in too. So um
that's
and
gonna
then
be
so
kind of
when
interesting to walk into mine with a lion. They're gonna be like, "What the hell is that?"
no, no, I've had a lot of wolves come in lately.
Yeah,
um and I have a wolf that's been popping in for a long time. um and but it doesn't look quite normal. Um, so I've had all kinds of. I mean, the dragon comes in, so
yeah. Well,
anything could come in.
well, let me tell you, it was very interesting. I know the wolf is tied to me somehow. I have not ever figured out how, but I went to New Mexico and on my I had some time off and I went to go look at all the markings, all the old markings on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went up to the top, it flattens out and there's no one up there with me. It's just all sagebrush, anywhere from 6 feet high. It's just all over the place. And as I walked, I was sensing something back to my right. And I turned and I looked, and there's a wolf. He's by himself and he's injured. So that's why he's
Um,
not part of the pack. But he wasn't injured enough that he couldn't walk. He just had a small limp. But he was huge. And he was walking with me. And he was only about 20 feet away. And I'm like, okay, are you thinking,
hmm.
can I take this guy down for food on my own? Or is he too big for me? And that's what I thought. So we walked, and I walked the entire way, probably 100 yards, and he walked with me. And then I went down another path to get down to the bottom of the rocks because that's where all the paintings and drawings were and everything else. And at one point, I climbed up into the rock, and I hadn't seen him. He didn't come down with me. He stayed up top. And I climbed up into the rocks, so like halfway up, and I laid down because I wanted a picture from the underside. And when I looked up and I put my camera up, he was on the edge looking down right at me. And I was like, that is, and I took the picture of it. And he was looking right down. I'm like, so why are you following me? What is this attachment that I'm supposed to have with the wolf? Because there's no way that a wolf should be able to walk with me like this. And, so I was like, what is that attachment? And I have no idea. I still don't have any idea why a wolf, or like why. I know that the wolf ties to me somehow, just in general, but I don't know why yet. And that's been years.
Journey to find
I'm
out.
going to have to. Yeah, and some of the stuff here is so Joe is saying the land is the here and now, which is more so, while shamanistic is the past, present, and sometimes future. So when we were being asked, what's the difference between working the land compared to doing a shamanic, that she was asking earlier, between
Shamanic.
studying shamanism and just working the land.
Well, the biggest thing about the that makes shamanism different is just working within the realms. Because when, like, I'll bring Reiki into the realms, I'll bring channeling into one of the realms, but I don't have to do Reiki in the realm.
Right.
I don't have to do the channeling in there. So, I mean, I can work with spirit outside of working in the middle world or wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
But and you could do like the soul retrieval work and stuff, you have to go into the realms to do that.
That's something else I don't know anything about, soul retrieval and stuff like that. I have no clue.
Well, it's where, like, when you have a trauma, basically a piece of you kind of goes to a place to hide, to preserve itself, or to be happy, or whatever. And so a shaman will go and find that piece and bring it back to make you whole. Because literally, when you say your soul is shattered, or you feel broken or whatever, it's literal. Part of your energy goes to preserve yourself.
Right.
So you just bring it back. But the thing with that is that the person that you're helping, like when I do help somebody with the soul retrieval, they have to feel the emotion and heal the emotion. For it to be effective. I said, you don't want to bring a piece back and then then you're not healing.
Right.
It's just gonna go back where it was. Why would it stay?
I'm gonna come back.
No, thank you.
Joe, yes, it is Fenrir. Debbie, you are correct as well. And that is actually a difference between a male and a female, is the way it's written out for Norse. Fenrir, Norse wolf, male god, and Fenris is the female Norse god of wolf, wolf god. Debbie says she sees the beach in the middle and the jungle in the lower. Melody's saying she sees a volcano.
That's one way to go into the lower world usually.
And Debbie says that her wolf usually goes to lower with her. Last time it went middle, and it was a black panther.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, isn't it?
Yeah. So now we're changing up.
Maybe you should ask her about the Black Panthers.
Oh, yeah, true. Since mine's the white lion.
Well, now you have that dream, too.
Very blue-eyed white lion. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With the panther, they look like people to me, though. So just so you know, your panthers turned into people to me. So
yeah, very interesting. So yeah, a lot for me to learn. God bless you. Yeah, it's interesting. And I do want to. I know some people have heard this. I think you have heard this. Some people have heard this, but there's some people on who haven't. And this is very interesting to me. And I think this ties really much into my desire to do so much in my Native American side, my indigenous person, because I had someone who was my first mentor. She was also a shaman. And she said, I had a vision of you. And she said, it was very interesting. She said, I was in, it wasn't a healing hut, but it was like a teepee. And there were so many, all of the different tribes, their chief was in this, and they were all sitting around a fire. And the lead shaman went into the tent, and he asked each chief, what is your best trait of your best warrior? And the chief said it, and he basically took that little piece and put it into a bowl. And he did that for every chief that he went around to. And she said there were, just numerous chiefs. There were more than she can count chiefs. And she asked that. And she took this all and she kept putting them in the bowl. And she'd ask, what is your best trait for your best warrior? And she kept putting it in the bowl. And they said that, and she said the vision she had is that she got they got all those best traits of their best warriors together into this bowl, and then he came over to me and he poured it straight over me. So I got every trait of every warrior dumped onto me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that was kind of awesome to understand. But that also feels like a lot of pressure, like a lot of responsibility. So, I mean, I'm up for the challenge, but I just thought that was a very interesting vision that she told me that she had. I don't know what to do with it, but
well, I told you about the wolf, but it's the white wolf.
Yeah.
And now spirit comes to me. If it's white, it means it's spirit. It's in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The white wolf led me to a campfire with a whole bunch of people around in a circle, and they were all elders, but they were elders of different cultures. It wasn't just indigenous. It was all
Right.
sorts of cultures.
Yeah.
And each of them had a wolf around the campfire. Yeah. When I say campfire, it was big. It wasn't like you're going camping. Yeah, more like a bonfire. Yeah. Like you weren't roasting marshmallows on that thing.
Yeah.
So I'm still not real sure what that is, but I've had wolves come in several times.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I am part of I have 4 different tribes that I'm a part of that are in my blood system. And it's in my DNA. And one of them is actually from the dogmen. And when they transformed into wolves. So I don't know if anyone knows that story of the dogmen, but there's one of the Indian tribes I am. They were one of the beliefs, and they were the fiercest warriors. They said Apache, all them, nothing compared to a dogman. And it's very interesting because they said what happened is one of the warriors told his chief that he had a vision that he was an animal, that he was a wolf, that he was, and they need to start honoring the wolf. And they cast him out, and they were like, no, this is what our beliefs are. We honor everything, but not just one. And he ended up taking like 12 different people left with the tribe with him. And overnight they were greeted by a wolf spirit. And overnight it transformed them all into wolves. And they became like the strongest fighting, because they were a pack now. And they became the strongest fighting force in all the different tribes. But at night they would turn into the wolves, but in the daytime they would go back to their fighting warrior system. And they became their own separate entity of warriors. Like no one would face these warriors because they were so deadly. And it just became, that was the legend behind them. But you can read on the dogmen, and it tells you how that all happened and how fierce they were. Other tribes were like, no, we will fight anyone else, but not those guys. Because they believed that they had the spirit and the ferocity and everything else of their wolf god that protected them, and they would turn into wolves when they fought. When they had to fight them, they believed that these Native Americans would turn into wolves when another group would come against them.
Shamans, but it was usually shamans, could, I don't know how to explain this. They would project their basically project themselves as an animal in battle.
Yeah.
To help their warriors.
Right. And the lead warrior who was given that message, he ended up becoming the shaman for that group. Like he was granted the shamanism for that group. So he was the leader of the dogmen, but he was the shaman for him, and he was able to bring more people in to that fold and to basically that pack and form even a stronger. But that was the belief, was that now he had the ability to turn them into wolves. So when they fought, very interesting.
I still don't know why I always have visions.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to follow
I don't either.
Follow the wolves.
Yeah. Melody was talking about hers being down the volcano, and Joe saying, "Yep, figures Melody would be hanging out by the underworld."
I'm very comfortable in the underworld, so don't feel bad. I work with lots of gatekeepers.
And Debbie was talking about that was when I did the soul retrieval. The Black Panther sucked up the energy that was left in the different timelines of my life.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Something
And Joseph,
is,
sorry, that sounds like Twilight. No, it wasn't Twilight. much more deadly. Read up on the Dogman. You'll read all about it.
I'm gonna have to read it for sure. For real.
Melody says, "Not all Darklings are bad."
Thank you. I've never gone. I mean, for all the times that I work in the underworld, I mean, I've never run into any problems.
Someone popped in just at my conversation.
Hey, awesome!
No, I have to send you something, Tom. Great. I did it. Oh man. And just if anyone's curious, this is William Nighthawk. If you haven't met William, and he is actually on my show in 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome! What?
February 27th, he will be on my show.
Very cool.
And Debbie said the panther returned to her and blew the energy into her mouth. It was
now that's what's interesting because I was told the blowing energy back in was taught to me in the realms, and I was told in a vision to blow the healing flame into the Sacred Heart. And so now I've incorporated some of that into my healing stuff. So but that's not stuff that I've read in any of my books, and it wasn't taught to me in any of my shamanic courses or anything. So it all just kind of blends together. And I will say that none of mine is indigenous. And I didn't go in that direction because when I started working on this, I didn't feel like, I don't want to say qualified, but kind of qualified. Like I felt like it was, I don't know, not my place or whatever. Like I wasn't, because I'm not indigenous, and I need to learn that from somebody that actually teaches it, for it to be really legit or whatever,
If we only knew somebody.
I know, if only we knew somebody.
And Debbie's saying she's relatively new to journeying, but she wants to do it more.
I love it. I do it all the time. And I found a new place. Actually, Debbie, I found a really cool new place. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So, I was bringing yes, it was really cool. So it's darkness, pure. And I know this sounds crazy. It's a void. But it's not scary. And I feel like I'm part of a consciousness in this void. And time is really slow. And I know this because I listen to music when I'm working, and I have a playlist, and that's my timer. I have a timer. So when I reach this place, it feels slower. It's cold, which is unusual because I don't feel physical stuff like that. I'll feel it in the sense that it's a body echo. So like if your shoulder hurt, I would feel it. But my shoulder doesn't hurt.
Right.
Per se.
Right.
This is like, I'm cold, and it's almost uncomfortable, but it's not terrible, but it's a new place, and it takes a lot of my energy to get there, which is really unusual because I have plenty of energy. I can go anywhere and do anything I want and do all the Reiki, because Reiki's not your energy. I can do all that, and it doesn't take my energy to this place, and it's like super over drive.
She's saying that's interesting. That's what her teacher calls the abode, a place of darkness where you release all thoughts.
I'm not releasing thoughts though.
Oh, okay.
I'm receiving. I'm part of a consciousness. I'm healing, doing my healing work in there. And the healing work is like way amped up. It's really awesome. It's really cool. And I've been able to get back there 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. William says, Jamie, you're one straightforward spiritual person, and anyone I actually trust is you, my dear friend, and Tom too. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But yeah.
I do try to tell it how it is, even though it's so weird. I'll get these weird visions or dreams or whatever, and it's like, so I've got to message this person and say, okay, you want this message? Here it is.
It was interesting because I told you I'm teaching a class right now at work. Also, people who don't know, I work on a military base, and I teach people some pretty cool stuff. But they don't know what I do when they first come into the class because they're from all over the place. But somehow my show came up in a conversation because someone brought it up and said, "Hey, are you doing your show tonight?" I went, "Sure." And they're like, "What is your show about? What is the show?" So I told them, and they were like, "Well, we're gonna watch." I don't have anyone here, but they were like, "We're gonna watch." I'm like, "Cool. Here's the site. Here's where it is. This is what time it runs. It's also recorded." And then it came up as, well, do you have any abilities? So that was an interesting conversation to turn to people who only get to know you for 2 weeks to explain. So I don't hold back either. I just tell them, look, this is who I am. This is what I do. If you don't like it, you don't have to believe it. And I'm perfectly fine with that. You're not going to hurt my one feeling at all because it's not good for you in the first place. And we'll just move on from there. But yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, it's funny. I tell people that you and I are really cut from the same cloth.
Well, we have some of the same travels, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. And I tell people, I believe that you and I, because of the way we kind of talk without really any hesitation or fear, that we really do have that. We have that same tie together somewhere down the road or in our past or a few past.
Lyran and Orion and I don't know, Arcturian and Pleiadian.
And Nighthawk saying, Tom is a military vet, not a vet. He couldn't make up his mind to leave. You are true. I left for a very brief amount of time, and it was the worst part of my life. So I decided I was going to actually go. Nikki says,
I don't know if he was talking about vet, like veterinarian.
I know.
Where I went, that's where my head went with it.
But Nikki's saying she doesn't actually speak her truth at her job. She doesn't need to be the witch math teacher burned at the stake.
Well,
she's a high school math teacher, so she kind of keeps it. Some of the students know.
I have some friends that are teachers,
but some of them know, and
craftastic.
And it's not a very big school, so word does get around. But she doesn't just openly talk to her class like I do my students.
Well, they're kids too, so
yeah,
it's different.
Yeah, mine are kids. They're just a little older.
They're big kids.
I have people in my class who still can't drink, so they're still young.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
they are babies.
They're 18-year-olds come into the military, and I'm teaching them how to do very bad things to very bad people. But yeah. So, but in those classes, the younger ones right now are the ones that are more accepting than what,
because the next generation is there's light. These are light babies.
So William is saying, Nicole, if anyone wants to try to burn you, I will make sure the matches are wet. So you're safe, Nikki. You're good. And Debbie says she has to kind of stay in the spiritual closet sometimes around the muggles. True.
Muggles.
Yes, around those damn muggles. So
I know somebody was saying the other day about people still were super closed-minded around here, and I'm like, I've still got a planchette hanging from my mirror. Like, I don't even use Ouija boards, but it was part of a Halloween thing, and I can't get it off my mirror, and I can't seem to remember to carry the scissors to the car. So I was just like, you know what? I'll just leave it. And nobody has said the first thing. It's like, I can't imagine coming across as a normal person as it is. And, nobody's tried even to burn me at the stake yet. So
it's interesting how many times, though, that they go to the extreme. Like when I tell people, by the way, I'm a paranormal investigator, and then I go, and I have abilities, if that ever comes up, they instantly go to the worst case scenario. So you deal with demons. No, I really don't.
Very rarely do we see demons. Very, very rarely.
I've
seen a few, but
they do that. That's their instant go-to. Is like, oh, so you deal with evil and witchcraft and demon. I'm like, yeah, and I also talk to people who do tarot cards, and I do talk to people who use Ouija boards, and I go, not affecting me at all. Yeah. I go, I said, and they're not bad people. It's just,
I know there's actually
use them, and they use them for good.
So witches that I know are the bestest people. They're freaking amazing. awesome humans.
And that's right, Nick, because she says all they know is Hollywood and TV shows and movies.
Yeah, it's really a shame. The only good thing, my saving grace, I think, is because this is Louisiana, so obviously everybody does voodoo, right?
Yeah.
You know, watch out, I'll curse you.
Right. And Melita says she was
So-
a witch in high school, so she got used to the weirdness.
See, they
Yeah, very true, Mr. Nighthawk, because he says you had to know that the spirits would tell him when I was talking about dogmen and the skinwalker. And I wasn't talking about the specific dogman. I was actually talking about the dogman warriors.
yes, because I had a dream.
Yeah, but that's what I was talking about. The dogman was the dogman warriors when I was actually talking about that. But I knew you'd show up anyways. I just knew you'd be rolling in anyways.
I've had
And William says he's a Native American witch. So,
which is different, right?
Yes.
From I'm reading some stuff and I'm having a hard time following because they are using different terms than I'm used to, like the curanderismo, and it really resonates, but I don't know the deities and all of that stuff, so it's kind of like that. I try to let the terms go in one ear and out the other because I can't retain these. I can't even say the words, let alone.
So you mean it's kind of like Joe and Melody throwing these?
Yeah, it's kind of like
trying
that.
To laugh at me when I'm pronouncing them.
It's like, yeah, I'm not trying. I can't even try.
Oh, y'all got jokes, huh? I see how it is.
But some of this, it's like they're not calling him a shaman or anything. But he's from Mexico. So all the words are different. And they're, I haven't, they were talking about this guy. The first couple of paragraphs in the book was about a person being a dog and like shape shifting, sort of. And that's what I thought the book was going to be about, but it's not. So, and it's had some really good information, but it's hard for me but with their sorcerers, they're calling them sorcerers, but they're tying it into shamanism. And some of the words is just, I don't understand a lot of the words. So,
yeah,
it's a whole new thing.
Debbie is saying she actually went to a celebration of life on Thursday, ended up doing karaoke, and there were two pastors and a pastor's wife there. They invited them to their church, which is right behind her house. I asked them how they felt about people's spiritual and mediumship gifts. They say they were cool with it and loved everyone. Quite refreshing.
Very nice.
So that's good.
Very nice.
Yeah, yes. I can tell you that my grandfather, who was a Pentecostal preacher, if he would have known, he would have been like, what? He goes, you know what? I'm going to have to go ahead and drown you right now in holy water. And we're going to rebaptize you. Yeah, we're going to rebaptize you. And if you stop breathing, then we know what it was meant to be. Yeah. So, yes, so exactly. William's also a holy man and loves karaoke. So right now I kind of feel like
it's going to be a party.
Right now I kind of feel like I'm writing his Match.com little thing going on. So I love long walks on the beach. I'm a holy man and I really love karaoke. So
bonfires.
Yeah.
Perhaps he was around the bonfire. Maybe he was one of the elders.
Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night.
All right.
We're at about an hour and a half, actually. So
I'm
we've been
going
pretty good. Yeah, we've been going pretty good. And it was. I did not achieve my goal completely of learning all about you, but we did learn quite a bit through conversations from way over there on the people that are doing the messaging next to you.
The messaging.
So that was good. I really like this conversation. I really want to thank you for coming on.
Sure. You're welcome. I hate that we missed I hate that your guest could not make it.
I did tell her that because she's like, I'm really sorry, and she apologized a lot. I go, well, that doesn't mean that you get out of this.
That you're off the hook.
Yeah. I go, you're going to come on my show. And she's like, absolutely. She goes, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Debbie did write up, though, her uncle's a Lutheran pastor and gave her heck about all of it. Had to set him straight. Said, I'm doing just like Jesus, LOL.
Well, I swear Jesus was one of the first Reiki masters.
Right?
I mean, he was healing like her. I mean, and it was God's energy. So, I mean, it's exactly.
Yeah. Thank you all. I'm going to throw up your stuff really quick one more time. Thank you very much, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Again, this right here is Jamie's Red Ribbon Spirit Work. You can go right there and contact her. I have it out on the comments as well. So if you missed it earlier, you can just scroll back up in the comments. And all this information is out there. So if you have questions for her, if you want her to do some readings for you, whatever else, guess what? That's where you go find her at. So make sure you like, follow, share her. I'd appreciate it. While you're doing that for her, you go out and like, follow, share me. I'd appreciate that. So you're helping both of us out, killing two birds with one stone, so to speak.
Yeah, we won't be hard to find either.
Yeah, we are not at all.
Bugging the crap out of each other all the time.
Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. I would talk for longer, but I'm tired. I just get up way too early to go to work. So that's kind of what it was. Debbie continues to say he was also a medium, talked to Moses and led his spirits in the desert.
That's true. That's true.
Levy says mahalo. Oops. Nikki's saying, great to see you on the show.
Yeah,
so glad that you subbed for me tonight.
I'm glad you made it.
And Jeanette says they were talking about chupacabra.
Oh.
So, okay.
Who? Cool.
In Mexico.
Oh, no, it wasn't chupacabra.
Okay.
It was something else.
Yeah. Okay.
They had weird words.
Oh, yeah.
That even
I had. Like this next time, because this isn't a one and done. But I'm going to end the show. I'm going to put you backstage really quick. Don't take off. I will come back and talk in a second.
Okay.
So I will see you here in a couple of minutes. But
already.
Have a good
night.
Bye,
guys.
In a second. All right, everyone. That's the show. Again, thank you so much for showing up and supporting us. I really want to thank Jamie again for coming in and rescuing us. So you didn't have to just listen to me Bible on my own and making stuff up as I go along. I love the audience. You guys have such great energy. I love the fact that you are very engaged with our conversations because you make the show. I can be on here. My guest can be on here, but without you, it would just be us talking and it wouldn't be as entertaining and as intellectual, let's use that word tonight, as it is. So thank you again very much. I appreciate you all showing up. You know how I feel about you guys. You guys are my family, and I love having you all here. Next Monday, I do have, she's a shaman as well. Her name is Charlie McBride, and she's going to be on my show. She's been on my show, but it was almost a year ago she was on my show. She was one of my first early guests, and I'm bringing her back, and she has done so much more and expanded so much more than when I had her on initially. So I'm really excited to talk to her, see what she has coming up and what's going on right now. So please visit us next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central for that. And other than that, y'all have a great week. I hope you all have survive the week very nicely. This is actually a short week for me. I'm actually have Friday and next Monday off because we're military and that's just how we roll. But anyways, have a great week. Love you all very much. Take care. Make sure you all take care of each other. Send each other love, happiness,